What if I told you that my users are now opening pull requests on my application and they don't even know it? So I recently built an AI tattoo application and it's making $280 monthly recurrent revenue, which is absolutely crazy. And today I'm gonna show you how I connected it to Warp's new cloud coding agent, Oz, so that every time a user submits a feature request, an agent spins up in the cloud, evaluates it, implements it, and opens a pull request. No local machine, no babysitting, let's get into it. So if you're anything like me, you probably have 2, maybe 3 AI coding agents running locally right now. Warp, Codex, Claude, whatever your stack is. And that's great until your laptop sounds like a jet engine. You've got 10 terminal tabs open and you lose track of which agent is doing what. That's a problem I had, and that's exactly what Oz solves. Oz is Warp's new cloud coding agent platform. And the idea is simple. Instead of running agents on your machine, you run them in the cloud, as many as you want in isolated environments with full orchestration. You can trigger them from the CLI, from Slack, from GitHub Actions, from a webhook, or from your own application code using their SDK. And that last one, the SDK, is what I'm going to show you today with my AI tattoo application. And if you want to try this yourself, Warp is offering an extra 1000 AI credits towards Oz when you sign up with my link at the description. And shout out to Warp for that amazing deal for our community. Quick context on the application. This is basically how it looks. It's called Inkigo AI. And you can explore some tattoos and try them on. Let's select one of them. Say that I want to view this and I decide that I want to try it, right? So let's use the tattoo. This will open the playground, and the new feature that I recently added, you can see it here, is request a feature, which basically opens this form where the users can request features here. What's cool is that we of course have some real users using the application and they have sent us some feature requests. And the current functionality just sends me a Slack message with the feature request, and then I have to manually implement it whenever I get a chance, which, let's be real, it's not often. And today we're going to use the Oz SDK to make those requests trigger an autonomous coding agent that actually implements the feature as soon as we get the request. Now you might be thinking, what if the request is low quality? Don't worry, the agent is going to be able to decide whether it's a good feature to implement and approachable or not. All right, so let's get to work. As you can see, I already have Warp here. In case you didn't know, they actually have a file explorer. You can open files, edit them, and a lot of cool stuff all inside Warp. But now with the latest version, we get this new agent management panel where we can see all the Oz agents and orchestrate everything. With this nice UI, we can just press new agent. Let's do a quick test. I'm gonna select cloud agent and let's just say hello, and let's submit. Just like that, we are spinning up a new cloud agent. There we have it. The agent is running. We get some information here. We can stop it. We get the status, ID. Let me close this. And here we have the result. It says, hey, I'm Oz, your AI agent in Warp. I'm ready to help you. The cool thing about this is that it is running in the cloud. Let's go back to the agent management panel, which we can also go with Shift Command M. This is a shortcut to toggle the view quickly. And from here, I can see it, I can stop it, cancel the task, as you can see there. Now I'm gonna go back to my project. Let's open a new tab within the same directory, and let's create a new Oz environment for my AI tattoo application. So let's do slash, and you're gonna see it right here, create environment. And then we can choose how we want to set up our project. Since I want my Oz agent to create pull requests and add the features, we need to connect GitHub. So let's press quick setup. I'm going to give it a name, AI tattoo video, just give it a description, environment to implement feature request, and then we can select the repo. The first time that you do this, you just need to sign in into your GitHub account. But since this is the second time that I'm doing it, I can just select my AI tattoo repo. Oh, and by the way, you can select multiple repos, which is really nice. Let's say that you have your backend on a different repo, just select the repos and you're good to go. Now it's asking for a Docker image reference. I don't even know what's that. So let's press suggest image. And the agent is going to decide which image should use for this project. Okay, and just like that, it gave me the base latest, which sounds good to me. You can also set some commands that the agent is going to use to set up the code base. So I'm just gonna say bun install, which is the command that I use to install dependencies. This will allow the agent to use TypeScript and see if it has some syntax errors. Then let's press create. And now I have my environment. At this point, I have two environments. I created this one before. So now we can close the environment. And you can also interact with your environments from the terminal. You can say Oz help, and you will get info on how to use the Oz CLI. So we have the command environment. So let's say Oz environment list. There we go. And here we have my two environments. And these two environments already have a base image as well as a GitHub repo access. All right, let me clear the terminal. So now that we have our dedicated environment tied to my repo, the agent will clone it and work inside a container. All right, let's do a quick prompt. I'm gonna say Oz agent run, and then we can pass a prompt, hello. Let's hit enter. We just started a new conversation with the agent and we get a response. But actually this is running in my local machine. So we can run the same command, but this time I'm gonna say run cloud. And then this is going to ask me, okay, cool. So which environment do you want me to use for this agent? Let's select my AI tattoo. Just like that, it created a new cloud agent. Let's press Shift Command M, and we can see here in real time that this is updating, and we can even access the cloud agent environment and see what's going on. And this is not running in my computer, this is running on the cloud. And just to show you that the agent has access to my repo, let me use the voice input. Can you tell me what SDK version of Expo this project is using? And let's submit that. Boom, that was super quick. It already knows that we're using 55, and this is again running in the cloud. All right, so now let's actually trigger Oz agents using the SDK whenever we get a feature request. So on the left, you can see the structure of my project. And by the way, you can press Ctrl 1, 2, 3, and 4 to switch between views. And in here, basically the code of my application lives inside the source, and I have my API here. I have here the endpoint for the feature request. It's just a simple post request that is sending the Slack message. This is a place where I want to trigger an Oz agent to implement the feature if it makes sense. So you can find the Oz SDK TypeScript on GitHub. It's actually very simple to use. You just need to install it. And this is basically all the code that you need. By the way, we're going to need a warp API key. We're going to get it in a moment. But in the meantime, let's copy this. Let's go back to my project, and I'm going to say bun install Oz agent SDK. So let's see if that worked. Let's press Option O, open the package JSON, and search for Oz agent SDK. So here we have it, and we can start using it. So let's close that. Let's import Oz API from the agent SDK. So after sending the Slack message, I'm going to instantiate a new client by calling new Oz API. And then let's prepare the prompt for the agent. So I'm just gonna ask the agent, evaluate the feature request, and if it's a reasonable feature, go ahead and implement it. And the feature request is, I'm passing the message that we're getting from the request. And then I can call await client agent run, and we pass this information. First, we need to pass the prompt, which is what we have here. Then a config. Here's my config. You need the environment ID. So we already created the environment, and to get the environment ID, you can just run Oz environment list. It will give you the ID. This is what I'm using here. Then you pass the model ID. In this case, I want to use Claude 4.6 Opus High. And by the way, if you don't know the string value that you want to use here, you can also say Oz model list. This will give you a list of models that you can use. Right now, this is the one I'm using. Just copy paste the name, put it in here, give it a name. I'm gonna call mine feature request config. And then you can also pass a base prompt. So I'm just saying you are a helpful coding assistant that evaluates feature requests and implements them if they are reasonable. This is optional. You can skip it if you want. After that, from the response, you can get the job ID to track the progress or just get the state. So for now, let's say console log response.state, and that should do it. I don't need to do anything else here. This is just good to go. It's all you need. From here, it's just a matter of deploying this API. So let's see this in action. I have here my real device. It's on the left, and on the right, it's the simulator. And one real feature that I want to implement, and this is actually requested by real users, is that in the prompt history screen, you can see here your prompts, but it would be nice to have the ability to pin a prompt so that you get quickly access to it at the top of the list. So let's request the feature from the simulator. So I'm gonna say, please add the ability to pin a prompt. It always shows at the top of the list. That way I don't have to scroll. And before I send that, just to show you that we can handle multiple requests at the same time, I'm going to request a different feature from my physical device. So let's say add a button to toggle a grid view in the camera view. So let's submit from here and let's submit from here. All right, and we have 2 requests. And that's it. So the users don't really know that they just started 2 cloud agents, but we can actually go back to Warp and toggle the agent management panel. And as you can see here, we have 2 parallel agents working at the same time on different features. You can track the credits, the usage and stuff, but it was all automated. It's just a matter of waiting. If you feel like you need to steer this down, you can just click and see what's going on with this agent in the cloud, or you can also view the other one on different tabs and switch between them and see what's going on. This is again not running in my computer, which is amazing. And since I'm working in this application with my team, I can also share it by just copying this link and send it to them. If you open the link on the web, it will ask you if you want to open it on Warp or the web. You can still control it from the browser. So think about it, guys. You can even open this website on your mobile phone and ask a follow-up question. And the agent is going to keep pushing to the branch, all in a clean manner. And this is a real production workflow. The agent doesn't push to main. It opens a pull request that I can still review as the developer. All right, and as you can see here, add pinning feature for prompts, it's done. We can continue locally, we can copy the branch name or open the pull request. Let me press Shift Command M. Both are done. So from here, you can see like a high level overview of what's going on. We can see the pull request 13 and 14. I'm going to check the pull request. We have a nice summary adding the pin to prompt. This came from the feature request. Here you can see that the commit was co-authored by Warp agent. This looks amazing. So let's actually test this locally. Let's go back, continue locally. It's going to fetch and check out to the branch. So let's run this command. All right, so I had to cd into my folder, but now we can git fetch and check out to the branch. Boom, and it's done. Let's check out the simulator and my phone. Let me check out the prompt history and I'm going to long press. And now I have the option to pin to top. So let's say that this is my favorite. There we have it. Awesome. That's great. It's just a matter of merging and ship it. All right, so the other feature is the camera. Right now, as you can see there, we don't have a grid or anything. It's just 3 buttons. Let's see if that worked. Let's go back to here, and this is the view toggle button for the grid. Let's copy the branch name. Let's go back, and basically we just need to run the same command with the new branch name. Now let's go back to the app. Let's open the camera, and now I have a grid. How cool is that? And I can toggle it. It's using liquid glass. I'm honestly super surprised. So I'm gonna add a follow-up for the grid camera. Since I don't really like where it plays the grid button, I'm gonna say, please add the grid button at the top left absolute position of the screen. And send that in. Let us cook and wait for a moment. Okay, it moved the grid and I can actually see the code change here directly, even though this is running in the cloud. It just pushed the changes. Great. Now I can go to my local setup and say git pull. Let's go back to my phone and hello. Oh, there we go. So it's now there on the left. How cool is that? I'm actually going to ship this to production. Hell yeah. There we go. So from here, it's just a matter of merging the code. So I'm pretty happy with the result. This is pretty solid. I'm actually going to ship these features to production, and I can't wait to get a real request from a user and see it in action. Think about what just happened. A user, someone who has no idea what GitHub is, submitted a feature request through my application, and I can personally use it, right? I know that I'm going to create a pull request, so I can be in my bed creating sending requests to Oz, and within minutes there is a pull request ready for me to review. My users are essentially building their own features. That's wild. And this is just one use case. With Oz, you can set up schedule agents to clean up dev code every week, run documentation updates, triage GitHub issues automatically, monitor your Sentry errors, and have an agent investigate fixes, all running in the cloud, all managed from one panel. And setting this up took me less than 10 minutes. Create the environment, install the SDK, write the trigger, done. Remember, you can try Warp for free today and get an extra 1000 AI credits towards Oz. Add my link in the description. If you build something cool with this, let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.